In previous videos, we got WebUI installed, configured, and now we can start having fun. Hey, this is Daniel from Tiger Triangle Technologies. Thanks for joining me as we continue through the WebUI Inside Out series. Today, we're going to walk through the fundamentals of chat, which is a pretty core feature in this application. Let's get started. First things first, you'll need a model to work with. So I'm going to give you one quick way to get models. We'll talk more about model management in a future video. One way to do it is you can just type right in here. If you don't know what to type in there, one good way is to go to llama.com and click on models. And you can find them by popular or newest, or you can search. We're just going to go in here to, let's just say we want DeepSeek. And you can copy DeepSeek-R1 latest, or you can type it in. In this case, latest meaning the 8 billion parameter one, which is tagged with latest here, so you know what you're getting. That should work fine for us on this computer, so we're going to copy that right here, and we're going to paste it in this. All right, so here you see the option. It says, no results found. Do you want to pull from llama.com? And you're going to be like, yeah, let's do that. And it's pulling the manifest down. So we're downloading it now. It depends on your internet speed, how long that's going to take. We're going to pause it here and pick back up in just a moment. Once it's downloaded, you're ready to start using it. Also, if you have multiple models, you can set a model to your default if it's one that you'd like to use regularly. And one thing I want you to realize is that these models that you are downloading, and this is probably obvious, but they do take up disk space and quite a bit. This DeepSeek, as you can see over here, is a little over 5 gigabytes. And the Llama 3.1 that I have, I think is around 6 or 7 gigabytes on disk. So do keep that in mind. Now, if we want to just start out really super simple, they do have suggestions here on these models that you can look at. And you can just click on that, just get an example. Overcome procrastination. Let's just see what DeepSeek has to say about that one. So you can modify that, of course, if you want to. We're gonna just send the message by clicking on that, or you could hit enter. And notice that DeepSeek is a thinking model. And this is a pretty recent feature that was added in both Llama and WebUI, that you can have these thinking models and it show you the thought process. When you click on that here, it'll expand that and show you how it thought things out, which is pretty cool. It goes through and it wants to know a little more information. Can you tell me about the types of tasks and situations? So it's going to walk you through this process. And so we could just continue that conversation here, but I'm going to switch over now to another model, Llama 3.1. We're going to say new chat. Okay, we have a new chat here, Llama 3.1. Again, it has suggestions. And I noticed when you hover over here, it changes the suggestions. So tell me a fun fact about the Roman Empire. Let's just click on this and see what it gives us. What I wanted to show you on this one is that it generates some follow-ups, questions that you could ask to go further. So you could just go further with that. So far, we've been pretty lazy here. We're just clicking on things they suggest. But let's say that we didn't really care to have that chat stick around. We can go in here and we can say, okay, let's delete that one. There's another option you can do with chats. If you click on the chat here, that maybe you didn't want to see this over here on the side pane, but you still want to keep it. You could just archive it by clicking down here in the lower left on your name, and then you can click on archive chats and you'll be able to see them here. You can either delete it here or you can unarchive it and it's going to show back up. Let's assume that you're on a project and your goal is to take some of the desert regions and make them more habitable. Instead of colonizing another planet, your goal is to put resources into making places like deserts in the world flourish. So that's our goal. And you notice that I already have one chat that I started here, and let's just pop over and take a look at that. And you see her asking a question, how much of the US is an uninhabitable desert? Let's do something similar here with a new chat, DeepSeek R1. And now let's say, instead of US, let's say world. And see what that does. So let's say we wanted to organize our chats for this project. It'll make it a little nicer, right? Notice that it does give your chats a name here, and you can change that if you want. You can rename that to, in this case, let's say desert, land, in world, or the world, I guess. All right. So now we have a couple of these. What if we wanted to organize those? So we can click that plus sign beside chats, and let's put in blooming desert project. Right, so now we have a place where we can drag these up in here and start organizing. Now if we wanted to make it even easier to find these later, we can click on this and we can tag these. It automatically tags it with some: environment, geography, science, and you can add your own tags here, and maybe it would be desert habitation. Let's just do that. So desert habitation. Okay, so now you'll notice that it's here, and we can do the same thing to this one. And we can add the same tag. Now it can also give you choices here, and one of the things is what we added before is now a choice. All right, so that makes it where you can search your chats. So you can search just normal from the titles, and you can click on this and you can say search by tags. You can say all desert habitation. All right, so little organization is a nice feature, and you can also, of course, remove tags that it automatically gave you, and you can do, and so it really allows you to customize. I have created a new artificial intelligence folder and organized this left pane a little more, and I've started a new chat. Let's prompt it with, I'm working on the Blooming Desert project, where we plan to make parts of the world's deserts habitable for humans. Please write a social media post to tell the world about this ambitious project. All right, so I'm doing this so I can show you just a few more features here as we kind of wrap this up. So I wanted to show you what these little buttons do at the bottom of your chat and go through these features. We will not start from left to right. We're going to choose what kind of makes sense to me. So let's just, first of all, we have our response from the chatbot, and it's our possible social media post, right? And that's good, but say we didn't really like it and we wanted to have another option, or maybe we did like it okay, but we want another option. We can click this regenerate and have it do a second one. All right, so that definitely is different. And you can still go back to your other one with these little navigation arrows to left and right. So we can see these here and decide which one we like. Speaking of liking or not liking a response, there's these little thumbs up, thumbs down. So good response, bad response. This is related to a couple of things. You can look at it as reinforcement learning from human feedback. The other thing it's related to is a leaderboard. So say we like this response, we can give it a thumbs up there, and we can rank it from 1 to 10. Let's say it was an 8 and showcase creativity, and we're going to save that feedback. It has tags here as well. I'm going to save that. Now, if you wanted to see the leaderboard, you can click on the lower left, your name, and click admin panel. In here, there is a leaderboard under evaluations. So here you can see the rating. You can start seeing this ratings take place in all your models. So you can also get to feedback, result 1, and you can click on that to see what the feedback was. So that's what those do at the moment. Also, in the future, it will be to refine and train your models, possibly, but I think that is still in development. This trash can icon, of course, will delete your chat. So you can delete that. It will ask you to confirm. Say yes. Now the second variation is removed. And we still have our original response. This continue response button is if there was some problem and the chat didn't complete, then you could go ahead and have it continue. There is an information icon that you can hover over and it'll show the timings. This is like if you were using Ollama and you would include the verbose flag. And so you can see here the total time was around 9 seconds for this one. There's also a read aloud option you can use. I'll go ahead and click that and we'll just have it go down a little bit of it.
Here's a possible social media post. Introducing the Blooming Desert Project. We're thrilled to announce the launch of a groundbreaking initiative that aims to transform the world's desert landscapes into thriving, habitable environments for humans and wildlife.
Now that sounds different than your default voice, but in a later video, I'll show you how I set that up. And there is a copy command that, of course, just copies your chat. And if you'd want to put that in some document or something, you could just paste it in. And it is in Markdown format, but that is something you could clean up if you didn't want Markdown. And there is one last button here, and that is Edit. And so you can edit this in place. So let's say we wanted to insert a logo or some branding element. Maybe we just wanted to put Tiger Triangle Technologies, right? And then you can save that, or you can save as a copy. Now, if you save it, it's going to change this actual chat here. If you save as a copy, then you're going to have two, just the same, except that edit is in there as well. And the only thing I don't like about that edit feature is you really cannot tell that it was edited. There's no indication as far as I can see. Now, let's say there was a chat that you referred to often and you didn't want it to get like buried in the left pane over here. You can actually pin it, and that's going to bring it up to the top here under pinned. And so it's nice and handy. Just another way to organize. We can unpin that, bring it back down here. You also have the option of downloading in JSON, text, or PDF. We'll click PDF. And then we open the file. And there you have your chat in PDF format. We're going to drag this up, organize it under the Blooming Desert project folder, and have it nice and tidy. Just for time's sake, we're going to stop right there, and in a later video coming up soon, we will talk more about the audio features that you have in here, the voice, and where you can kind of have a conversation with it and change the voice and stuff like that. And believe it or not, there's a lot more to learn about chats, so we'll talk about that more in a deep dive in our next video. And so be sure to subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video as we learn Open WebUI inside out.